Eagles are some of the best hunters on the planet. When it's time for brunch, they don't play around. From up above, they strike at the speed of light, and seldom do they miss their target. Let's find out what they're capable of as we count down 15 best eagle attacks caught on camera. Number 15. Eagle attacks photographer. A Vancouver Island photographer was left with some cuts and scratches after a pair of eagles took a nosedive straight into her lap this week. Lisa Bell told CTV News she was visiting her friend just north of Qualicum Beach on Friday afternoon when she decided to snap some pictures in the yard. But as she focused her lens on two bald eagles she said were engaged in a mating ritual, the birds suddenly came crashing down to earth. It only took a split second, Bell said. The eagles entwined and proceeded to fall on me. When eagles are courting, they sometimes perform an act known as cartwheeling, where they lock talons and plummet towards the ground before separating at the last minute. In this case, Bell said that the birds of prey didn't quite manage to pull off the maneuver. It's about trust, she said. They're supposed to let go of each other in time before hitting the ground. In this case, they let go, but not in time. The eagles launched off moments later after landing on her lap, and their sharp claws left her with a number of small injuries, including a cut on her finger, 2 puncture wounds on her jaw, and scratches on her arm and chest. But Bell also managed to capture an incredible picture of the birds mid-flight, and for a nature lover like herself, it was more than worth it. "I've got war wounds now. I've got stories to tell my grandchildren," she said. It was phenomenal. One of our subscribers sent us this thumbnail. I don't know about you, but an eagle grabbing an alligator from the ground seems quite the feat, unless of course it's trickery. But the subscriber assured us it was real. What do you think? Do you think this bald eagle has enough oomph to grab this gator and fly away with such ease? Number 14. Eagle attacks wolf. As many of us are forced to work from home or are unable to work at all, more and more people are scouring the internet looking for distractions. These photos shared on social media show an adult bald-headed eagle and a wolf battling it out over carrion scraps left on the ground. You might think the wolf would have the advantage, at least on the ground, but that does not appear to be the case. A full-grown eagle's wingspan can exceed 7 feet, and their talons can grow larger than a man's hand. Typically, wolves grow to between 3 and 5 feet, and adult eagles learn to disable larger prey with a powerful strike directed at the back of the skull of larger mammals such as wolves, deer, and mountain goats. These images also show the eagle forcing the wolf to retreat and give up on the carrion meal. But we don't know what happened after the camera stopped recording. Number 13. Woman fights off eagle. A woman playing with her cockatoo has told of the horrifying moment she fought off an eagle, which swooped down and attacked her. Terrified, she turned around trying to avoid the eagle to the best of her abilities while she still had the cockatoo on her arm. She explained how she was outside having fun with her cockatoo, when out of the blue, an eagle came swooping down to attack her. It landed on her head and she was screaming and turning, desperately trying to get the eagle off of her. She was trying to get it off of her and it took a few seconds, but those seconds felt like a lifetime. She finally managed to scare the eagle who flew away. Nothing happened to her cockatoo, so in the all is well that ends well. Number 12. Golden eagle attacks deer. Nobody had ever documented a golden eagle killing a deer in this region. But Curley, who along with Jonathan Slott of Wildlife Conservation Society, published a report of the incident in the Journal of Raptor Research, knew what the massive birds, with wingspans up to 7 feet, were capable of. Named for the distinctive gold-colored feathers on the nape of its neck, the gold eagle can deploy up to 7 distinctive hunting techniques, each one corresponding to the size and speed of its prey. When attacking slow-flying birds, for instance, the golden eagle soars upward and then rapidly descends, literally knocking the birds out of the sky. If it's stalking large animals such as deer, it flies low to the ground, waiting for the right moment to strike with a sustained grip of its talons. Golden eagles typically prey upon small and medium-sized animals such as geese, rabbits, and reptiles. But its occasional attack on bigger animals, lambs, deer, and even juvenile brown bears, led ranchers in the United States to believe that the bird was depleting their livestock. Is the golden eagle really strong enough to grab a large deer like in the photo? I will leave that up to you to determine. Number 11. Eagle attacks paraglider. Britain's top female paraglider has cheated death after being attacked by a pair of screeching wild eagles while competition flying in Australia. Nikki Moss, 38, watched terrified as two huge birds began tearing into her parachute canopy, one becoming entangled in her lines and clawing at her head 8,200 feet in the air. She heard screeching behind her and an eagle flew down and attacked her, swooping down and bouncing into the side of her wing with its claws. Then another one appeared, and together they launched a sustained attack on her glider, tearing at the wing. The encounter happened while Moss, a member of the British paragliding team, was preparing for world titles this month at Manila in northern New South Wales state. One of the most giant-tailed eagles became wrapped in the canopy lines and slid down towards Moss, lashing at her face with its talons as her paraglider plummeted toward the ground. It swooped in and hit her on the back of the head, then got tangled in the glider, which collapsed it. So, she had a very, very large bird wrapped up screeching beside her as she screamed back. She said she thought about dumping her parachute-style canopy and using the reserve. But then, she would have been descending on her reserve as the birds continued shredding it, which she wasn't happy about. Wedge-tailed eagles are Australia's largest predatory birds and have a wingspan of more than 2 meters. Moss said the attack ended after the second bird freed itself and the glider reached a height of only 100 meters from the ground, taking her outside the territory of the pair, who probably mistook her as a bird intruder. Veteran Australian paraglider pilot Godfrey Winnis said eagle attacks were rare, but Moss had been flying in an area where the birds were not accustomed to human pilots. Eagles are the sharks of the air, but if you're a regular, they just treat you pretty indifferently, he said. Moss, who crashed into a gum tree in Australia last year while flying in Victoria, said her latest encounter had not put her off flying. I see the eagles quite often, and they are incredibly beautiful. But I must say, I've never been so relieved to reach the ground, she said. Number 10. Seagulls attack a bald eagle. This is the remarkable moment a brave seagull swoops on a deadly bald eagle and pecks at its back, in a bid to save its friend from the predator's death grip. Photographer David Canales captured the incredible sky battle while birdwatching in Prince William Sound in Alaska, USA. The 33-year-old was amazed when the brazen eagle descended on a flock of gulls and plucked one from the air, with around 10 of the white birds pursuing the birds of prey. All of a sudden, this eagle attacks and landed on the seagull, which caused quite a stir among the other birds. It all occurred so fast, Canales didn't know the scale of how dramatic the chase was until he looked through the photos hours later. He was also surprised that the eagle was able to carry the seagull with ease, as the seagull isn't much smaller than the eagle. The eagle is outnumbered by hundreds of seagulls to one. Number 9. Eagle snatches a drone. In the battle for air supremacy, a bald eagle just proved that technology is no match for brute strength. The giant bird recently attacked a drone, destroying it and sending it to the bottom of Lake Michigan. During the squabble, the eagle tore off the drone's propeller, making the device plummet 162 feet through the air and into the lake. The brazen eagle versus the drone clash took place while environmental quality analyst and drone pilot Hunter King was mapping erosion along the shoreline. The data is being used to help communities cope with rising water levels. When King faced poor satellite reception, he pressed the go home button, recalling the drone back to him. But as he made its way home, it began twirling furiously during its tussle with the eagle. It was like a really bad roller coaster ride, said King. When he looked up to find the drone in the sky, it was gone, and the eagle was already flying away victorious. A nearby couple confirmed to King that they saw an eagle attack something in the sky. The three said that the eagle appeared uninjured as it made its escape from the crime scene. Number 8. Bald eagle attacks a grizzly bear. Who would win in a fight between a grizzly bear and a bald eagle? The bear would certainly have an overwhelming advantage when it comes to sheer brawn, but eagles have razor-sharp claws, excellent aim, and can fly. However, this hypothetical situation is rendered somewhat moot due to the fact that eagles and bears rarely get into fights. They simply have no reason to. Unless we are talking about two football teams from Chicago and Philly, bears and eagles have very little to do with one another and will generally avoid each other if they can. Actually, that might apply for the teams as well. Yet for some reason, a boater in Alaska's Naknek River did manage to film a rare instance of an eagle attacking a bear a few years back. Apparently, the eagle decided the bear made for a good target and drove straight for its eyes. As you can see, the eagle could have easily blinded the surprised bear. We're not sure if it came around for a second dive, or if it just flew away wondering why it did that. Number 7. Eagle attacks cat. Bird lovers watching the Albion Society of Western Pennsylvania's bald eagle cam were served a harsh dose of reality after one of the Aquiline reality stars brought a kitten back to its nest. The bird then proceeded to tear the quarry up and feed it to its 2 eaglets. While the small cat already appeared to be dead on the live stream, some viewers were still taken aback, and that's when the question started. Do eagles poach cats? Should pet owners fear death from above? Do cats go to heaven? No, and Google it. Depending on where they live, some bald eagles mainly fish. Others subsist mostly on other birds such as gulls and geese. But mammals like rabbits, lambs, and yes, even adorable kittens are typically an uncommon item on the menu. The eagles that own the nest in Hayes, a neighborhood in Pittsburgh, are no exception. They've mainly been fetching fish, says ASWP Executive Director Jim Bonner. When a mammal does show up for dinner, it's usually dead on arrival. Number 6. Octopus battle bald eagle. John Illett and his colleagues were working at a fish farm off the coast of northern Vancouver Island when they witnessed a knockdown drag-out fight between an octopus and bald eagle and caught the battle on video. The crew was in their boat finishing up work near Qualicum, BC when Illett said they heard a lot of screeching, a lot of splashing sounds, and saw a bald eagle drowning in the death grip of a large octopus. They were grappling and struggling in the water. The octopus dwarfed the eagle and completely wrapped it up. The crew didn't know if they should intervene, but eventually they decided to step in and save the bird. While a colleague's camera rolled, Illett took a pike pole and slowly peeled the octopus off its prey. That gave the eagle just enough time to break free and swim to shore. The bird spent about 10 minutes gathering itself on the shoreline before flying off. Number 5. Eagle attacks Donald Trump. Eagles love America, just like Donald Trump. So it only makes sense that the two were brought together for a photo shoot on August 18th. Time magazine was doing a cover story on Trump, but newly released footage from the shoot reveals that Uncle Sam, the 27-year-old bald eagle, is no docile bird. When Trump reached for something next to Uncle Sam, the eagle lunged, making Trump recoil in shock. What you will do for a cover. This bird is seriously dangerous, but beautiful, said Trump after the incident.
This bird is seriously dangerous, but beautiful.
Meanwhile, the internet has been busy, creating GIFs and memes of the hilarious incident. Number 4. Eagle attacks kangaroo. The moment a hungry wedge-tailed eagle swooped down on an unsuspecting kangaroo has been captured on camera. The bird of prey was filmed trying to grab the eastern grey kangaroo 3 times in Port Lincoln on the southern tip of Eyre Peninsula in South Australia. The marsupial fought back and managed to scare the eagle away on its 3rd attempt. Wedge-tailed eagles are the largest bird of prey in Australia, with a wingspan up to 2.84 meters and a length up to 1.06 meters. The big brown birds have been known to prey on small kangaroos, wallabies, koalas, and emus, but their primary targets are rabbits and hares. Wedge-tails are found throughout Australia and southern New Guinea. The eastern grey kangaroo is found in southern and East Australia, including Tasmania. An adult male will weigh 50 to 66 kilograms and can be grown up to 2 meters tall, while females weigh 17 to 40 kilograms and are shorter. Other than wedge-tailed eagles, their only natural predators are dingoes, and before their extermination, Tasmanian tigers. Number 3. Bald eagle versus bald eagle. Sam Longfellow spotted a furious cluster of gray and white feathers shaking high in a tree outside his home in southern Maryland. 2 bald eagles were going at it. The birds were hanging upside down, talons locked together over a branch, glaring at each other. They were hooked in the tree, and neither of them were willing to let go. One of the birds was looking at the other one like, "If you touch me, I swear." The bald eagles the couple saw in their Calvert Country yard Sunday morning are the latest in a series of angry, entangled eagles spotted across the country in recent years. The birds' talons became stuck together during aerial battles over territory, and the birds plummet onto roads or trees. Growing eagle populations and shrinking habitats have led to more frequent and more fierce struggles over territory, and more sightings of stuck-together eagles. Like aerial arm wrestlers, male eagles grapple talon to talon, squawking and tumbling through the air. The birds usually break free as they fall, but occasionally their talons become locked together and the birds smash to the ground. The fights and falls are especially common in late winter as the eagles prepare to mate. Number 2. Eagle attacks MLB player. During the Twins pregame ceremonies, a bald eagle was brought out to fly around Be All-American and Majestic during the anthem. While the anthem's still underway, the eagle decided it wanted to land, but did not want to go back to his handler, who knows how to handle huge birds. Instead, the eagle targeted Mariners pitcher James Paxton, who was standing in the outfield with his hat over his heart, just observing the anthem as usual, when he was accosted by an eagle. Presumably, Paxton does not know how to handle huge birds, but he'd handled it well. At first, the eagle just flew near him, and Paxton had the correct reaction of, "Whoa, what the hell? Why is this eagle near my face?" But the eagle landed in front of him and all seemed okay. That eagle wasn't done though. That eagle wanted to be friends. With the eagle taking up residence on his shoulder, Paxton remained as calm as can possibly be expected from someone who's being accosted by a random eagle. Why the eagle singled out Paxton as a fill-in for the proper handler isn't clear, but there are two feasible options. One is that Paxton was standing all alone in an open space, which might have mimicked the environment of a handler's training, and is usually strategy for the eagle. The other possibility is that the eagle could tell that Paxton is Canadian and wanted to put a little fear in him. Number 1. Bald eagle snatches a fox holding a rabbit. Videos and photos captured a bald eagle attempting to snatch a rabbit from a young red fox as they battled it out 20 feet in the air in what a photographer called a dramatic act of thievery. The dramatic sight at San Juan Island National Historic Park in Washington State was caught by photographers Kevin Eby and Zachary Hartjay. Eby wrote in a blog post he was at the park a few days ago watching the young red foxes, called kits, hunt before sunset. One of the kits caught a rabbit and held it in his mouth. He panned his camera to capture the action. Then, behind him, he saw the bald eagle eyeing the rabbit in the fox's mouth. He followed the action with his camera and waited for the bird's talons to swoop down with the cry of a bald eagle. He turned around and saw it approaching fast. To his surprise, the scene was even more dramatic than he expected. He thought the fox would drop the rabbit, giving the eagle an easy dinner. Instead, the fox, with its jaw still clenched on the rabbit, inadvertently got snagged by the bald eagle. The eagle lifted the young fox and rabbit into the sky, triggering an even more dramatic struggle. The struggle ensued for about 8 seconds, 20 feet in the air, with both sides refusing to give up. The eagle was eventually able to snatch the rabbit out of the fox's mouth and into its talon. The bird let the fox go, dropping him to the ground. Don't worry, the fox was fine. It shook off the encounter and resumed playing with its fellow kits. Foxes don't usually hunt rabbits and generally eat berries, insects, and voles. It's not for nothing that air attacks ruining wars make all the difference. These eagle attacks are scary enough to make people afraid of exploring nature. You'll never know when they come soaring down on you. It's like there's nothing you can do except pray and hope for the best. Well, that's it for our countdown of 15 best eagle attacks caught on camera. Join us next time for another amazing countdown. Until then, have a good one.